A roaring 87,000 crowd, a nation glued to their seats, and in the end, a penalty shootout heartbreak for England. No, it wasn't the Football World Cup final in 2022, but this moment of agony was actually from the Women's Tournament in 1995. It was the first time that the Lionesses had reached the semi-finals, and they went toe-to-toe with Norway before succumbing to penalties. But if you think about it, reaching the last four was still some achievement, right? Well, not according to then manager Anna Sig. She would go on to tell the press that she felt her side should have won comfortably. Fast forward 28 years, and the current squad has just lifted the World Cup trophy after defeating Spain in the final. So what happened between those two moments? Let's find out. It's fair to say that since that 1995 World Cup, there's been little to cheer about for the Lionesses. They never even qualified for another World Cup until 1999, and when they did, they crashed out at the group stage. The next tournament saw them fail to qualify, and then it was on to the 2007 World Cup, where they were knocked out in the quarterfinals by the USA. The following year, the FA commissioned a review into women's football in England, and the report found that there were too many part-time coaches and players and a few full-time staff. It also revealed that there were only 3 full-time professional women's teams in the country. However, while the report's findings made for grim reading, it did result in a huge injection of funding which helped set up the Women's Super League, or WSL for short. It would be the top flight of women's football in England, and the first fully professional league in the world. Just 1 year after the report's publication, the FA invested £1 million into the WSL with the aim of making it fully professional by 2009. And now let's fast forward again. Today, the WSL is widely regarded as the best league in the world, with the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United all vying for the title. In fact, the WSL has been so successful that the Premier League are now looking at ways to increase the amount of money in the game even further. Anyway, back to the Lionesses. Now that they had a top-class domestic league, it didn't take long for the results on the international stage to improve. In 2015, they reached the semifinals of the World Cup once again, losing out to eventual champions USA. 4 years later, they went one better and made it to the final, only to lose out to the Netherlands in extra time. But finally, in 2022, everything came together. Manager Serena Weigman guided her side to a perfect qualifying campaign, winning all 8 of their matches. Then, in the summer, the team flew over to the other side of the world for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. There they were drawn in a group alongside Scotland, Argentina, and Denmark. After drawing their opener against the Scots, England bounced back with a 6-0 victory over Argentina, thanks to a hat-trick from captain and all-time leading scorer Ellen White. They rounded off their group stage with a 0-0 draw against Denmark, which was enough to secure top spot in the last 16. They faced Senegal and ran out 3-0 winners. That set up a quarter-final tie with Colombia, and this was probably their toughest match of the tournament. England went ahead twice through goals from Jones and Russo, only for Colombia to peg them back both times. Extra time looked likely, but in the 63rd minute, a brilliant passing move involving 5 players ended with Alicia Russo prodding home the winner. That meant that they were into the semi-finals, where they faced Australia, and this one was a tense affair. England dominated possession, but the Matildas defended resolutely, and they took the lead in the 56th minute when Sam Kerr nodded home a cross from the right. However, 8 minutes later, Australia's fortunes took a turn. A free kick from deep was flicked on, and Kerr accidentally handled the ball inside the box. VAR awarded the penalty, and England's captain, Leah Williamson, stepped up to convert. Extra time failed to produce a winner, and so it went to penalties. And it was the Lionesses who prevailed for 2-2 in the shootout. So this set up a final against Spain, who had seen off Sweden in their semi-final. It was a repeat of the 2018 men's final, and it was being played at the same stadium, the Stadium Australia, in front of a crowd of 75,784. England started brightly and should have taken the lead in the 16th minute, when a pinpoint cross from Lucy Bronze found Mary Earps. Somehow the Manchester United keeper missed from close range. At the other end, Spain almost broke the deadlock just before halftime when Esther Gonzalez's header hit the bar. The second half followed a similar pattern, with Spain dominating possession, but England looking dangerous on a counter-attack. In the 77th minute, Lauren James was shown a straight red card for a high challenge on Mappy Leon, and so England were reduced to 10 players. It seemed as though the Lionesses would hold out for extra time, but in the 89th minute, overcame cut inside and curled a low shot into the bottom corner of the net. Spain continued to push for a second goal, but England held on and the match went to extra time. Chances were few and far between, and neither side could find a winner. So it was down to penalties once again, and this time Spain's goalkeeper, Misa Rodriguez, saved from Chloe Kelly and then converted the winning spot kick, sending the Spanish wild with joy. As we already know, England went on to win the shootout for the two and lift the World Cup trophy for the very first time. It really was a remarkable achievement. Not only had they won their first ever World Cup, but they'd done it in style. Their attacking football and never say die attitude won over many admirers, and they finished as the tournament's top scorers with 20 goals. One of those goals came from the now retired Ellen White, who became the all-time leading scorer for the Lionesses during the group stages. Her record of 50 for goals will be very difficult to break. As for the future, well, England will be hoping that they can maintain the momentum and dominate the women's game in the years to come. If you think that might happen, then why don't you get a head start on everyone else and bet on it happening with a bookmaker? Well, folks, that's our look at how England won the Women's World Cup. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. Thanks for watching.